host, LEVITZ. It's an honor to have you here at this interview. And I would like to ask first about the Great Darkness Saga. It's one of my favorite histories, and as you are a long-time writer of Legion of Super-Heroes, that's also one of my favorite cosmic themes. And I would like to know, how was the process to creating the idea of the Great Darkness Saga?
It's a long time ago and my memory is pretty fuzzy, but I had introduced the idea of bringing back Darkseid into the story, and I did a short backup with Pat Broderick, who was one of the regular artists on the Legion at that time. He'd been the lead artist for several issues. Then Keith flipped from being a backup artist on the series to being the lead artist, and he was a great fan of Jack Kirby. You can see a tremendous amount of Jack's influence on him in his early work. So the idea of doing something with Darkseid was exciting to both of us. We started throwing some ideas around. I would usually plot the stories with a written outline that gave an indication of what I thought should happen in each panel. And then he would kind of screw with that and take off in some slightly different directions along the way. Occasionally he would create a scene that had nothing to do with what I had put in the plot and make suggestions in little liner notes and pencil about what he thought the story might be for it. And often I would ignore completely whatever his liner notes were and come up with yet a third element. But at that time, for whatever happy reason, we were in sync enough that as these ideas would mutate, often 1 and 1 would equal 3.
Eu até esqueci de falar no começo, é uma pergunta também do Carlos Melo, né, que fez essa pergunta pelo Superchat.
Ele falou que essa foi o interesse dele, né, que ele tinha vontade de colocar o Darkseid de volta, trazer o Darkseid de volta, né, então era o Pat Broderick, que ele falou que era o artista na época, né?
Pat Broderick, yeah.
Isso, e trocando ideias entre eles, enfim, o Keith Giffen, né? Que foi, então, quem fez o trabalho. Então, ele disse que, ao escrever as histórias, enfim, e elaborar as ideias dele, ele fazia sugestões de design, né, do que colocar em cada página. O Keith Giffen vinha e ignorava tudo que ele fazia, colocava seguindo uma outra direção, voltava para ele ignorava tudo aquelas anotações do Keith Giffen, colocava uma terceira. Então, no final das contas, eles perceberam assim, não, que realmente é um processo colaborativo, então, somando as ideias de ambos, então, tu chega no...
Eu vou complementar uma coisinha rapidinha. Mr. LEVITZ, when your work with Keith Giffen on Legion of Super-Heroes was published here in Brazil, the comic book published here in Brazil was so small, and many dialogues that you write translated to Portuguese, some words have the meaning changed, but it was really impressive the way that you and Keith worked on Legions of Super-Heroes, because before that, we had just the contact with the first issues of Legions of Super-Heroes, and maybe something with Dave Cockrum as an artist. And you and Keith introduced so sci-fi and futurist designs and environments, and some really impressive topics about the acceptance of other races in planet Earth, all the conflicts, the internal conflicts. I was only a X-Men reader, and when I start to read really Legion of Super-Heroes with your scripts, I was catched. I really love it. I enjoyed so much the relation between the characters, all the conflicts. And when you showed Darkseid, my face was smashed on that time. It was really, really, as my friend Gary Velo said, it was really unexpected. Really unexpected.
It's a very different experience reading the Great Darkness Saga now. Whether it's in the paperback version or the hardcover version that they did a few years ago, you're seeing a version with Darkseid on the cover, and
it's a spoiler, right?
And you're not likely to pick it up without knowing that this was where Darkseid showed up in the future. But at the time, the Legion's future had been only mildly connected to the DC universe. I had done a few stories that had Superboy in it and Supergirl.
Yeah.
But it had been years since there was any real connection to the rest of the DCU in the stories. I would do more later on, but I think it met its goal as a serial of surprising an awful lot of the readers. As a writer, when I'm doing a mystery story, I like to play fair. So there's enough clues there that I think somebody could guess it. But ideally, I don't want you to guess it till about a minute before I reveal it. And we see. I did 2 or 3 big mysteries in the course of my Legion run that people enjoyed. But that's been the one that has been sort of the officially most important by all the votes.
Very good. O Daniel fez uma pergunta aí, ele comentou, na verdade, eu tenho que lembrar tudo que tu falou agora, né?
Yeah.
I have to remember everything that Daniel asked you.
I'm a fan. What can I say?
Translator's lot
I
is
lost
not
my control, man.
Yeah. Make my life easier, Daniel. But anyways.
Okay.
Não, o Daniel ele fez um comentário que quando a saga foi publicada no Brasil, foi publicada em formatinho, então que muito foi cortado, foi traduzido talvez não da melhor forma possível, né? Mas o Daniel comenta que toda aquela diversidade, todos aqueles aspectos de ficção científica tinha na história, isso foi algo que realmente o pegou, que ele só tinha lido algo semelhante lá no X-Men, como um leitor de X-Men ele era, né? Então que é uma saga que realmente muito importante nesse sentido. O Paul ele diz que ler hoje essa saga é muito diferente de ler também em tempos atrás, né? Seja o encadernado de capa cartonada ou capa dura que eles lançaram algum tempo atrás nos Estados Unidos, que tem o Darkseid na capa. Então eles, até o Daniel quando, baita do spoiler, porque é algo que realmente vai ser revelado mais adiante. E ele comenta que até então as histórias da Legião, do futuro da Legião, não eram tão relacionadas com o universo da DC Comics, né? Com o presente da DC Comics, então. E até ele, assim, tinha feito uma outra história com o Superman, com o Supergirl, mas não tinha muito dessa relação. Ele vai trabalhar isso mais adiante, né? E ele, assim, como escritor, e por gostar de mistério, ele foi justo e ele colocou pistas ao longo das histórias, mas ele não gostaria, assim, que, cara, algumas pessoas podem realmente adivinhar que é o Darkseid que tá vindo ali, mas não gostaria que a pessoa adivinhasse realmente, assim, até o minuto que ele faz a revelação, né? E ele disse que trabalhou com outros mistérios também ao longo do run dele, né? Do tempo que ele trabalhou com a Legião, mas que essa, sem dúvida, é um dos mistérios mais importantes, umas histórias mais importantes que ele escreveu pra Legião. Acho que eu consegui, né?
Conseguiu.
I think I made it.
Yeah.